Welcome, welcome. In my previous video, I ended spending the day at Streets of Willow and it went perfect. Achieved a new personal best time and got to roast some tires. Very first event yet with the car where I had no issues. So I went back a couple weeks later to race Big Willow because I wanted to try out my new Goodyear Supercar 3Rs that everyone says are amazing. Thought to myself, cool, all I've got to do is swap some tires and go back to the track.
Wrong.
I honestly thought the 325 in the rear would fight me, but nope, fit perfect. Holy moly, the fronts on the other hand fought me. The Goodyears do come much wider and have wheel protection on the sidewall. Let me see if I could explain. First, took my Apex wheels to America's Tires to mount the 3Rs. Got home, put them on the car, no go. Tires rub the shocks, even with a 25mm spacer. Okay, let's try the Lightspeed Performance Mag Plus wheels. Took those to America's Tires to get mounted. Returned home, threw those on, nope, rubbed as well. Ordered more spacers. Meanwhile, decided to try the Project 6GR wheels off the Shelby. Another trip to America's Tires for mounting. Got home, and success, they fit, but needed wheels for the Shelby, so tried on the Mag Plus wheels, and for some reason, the Mag Pluses wouldn't fit onto the Shelby's rear hub. Like, how? Why? Anyway, had myself running mismatched wheels on both cars, but for now, whatever. It works. Like I said before, the more you change, the more growing pains. The 3Rs are wider, like way wider, which is basically what caused all the issues. And lastly, before heading out, took most of the audio equipment out, probably shed 80 pounds, and got my larger wing on. I love how the car looks with the larger wing, and it works. Mustangs like big wings because the rear, as I've explained, they got squirrely rear ends. Yes, I honked. This dude was all over the place that day. Clearly someone with money and zero skill or track etiquette. He would dominate on the straights, but was slow on the turns. I can respect someone with money learning how to track their supercar, but not in the advanced red group like this clown. He did eventually get kicked out for the day. These 3Rs truly are amazing. All the switching, swapping, changing, and exchanging was worth every struggle. What a difference tires make. But anyway, set myself another PB at Big Willow. Me and the TT Coyote are heading in the right direction. Also that next day, my new rings came in, so I had PK Auto throw them in, along with some new pads, a brake fluid flush. Then I bedded the brakes in. I really did feel RTR.
It's the RTR which stands for, and I'm not making this up, ready to rock.
This year so far is looking great. I don't have to fix anything. I'm not used to that. Car's working great. I guess let's go to a track. Next, I visited both Button Willow tracks for the first time. Something occurred to me that's a bit ironic. For California being a state that hates cars and punishes car enthusiasts any way possible. By the way, this does not include the takeover clowns. There sure are quite a bit of tracks to enjoy. There was an exciting moment I thought I was going to mimic, Cole Trickle, and pass in between these cars.
Here we go!
But I'm glad I erred on the side of caution because this dum-dum did this. Now, there was a minor intermittent electrical issue that started, but didn't really affect much. I noticed my backup camera, rev match, and hill assist would sometimes not work. Not that big a deal, honestly, although not having rev match is kind of annoying, as I am not the best at heel and toe in the Coyote. The Shelby for me is a little easier, but still, car is running great. So, what's next? Now, Vegas is where I started having some problems. I knew this gas up and go was not going to last very long. This electrical issue was occurring much more often, and I started getting parking aid alerts and malfunctioning messages on the car dash. The car was still running strong, so I decided to carry on until the very last session. The car gone done went into limp mode. This really infuriated me because at this point I was less than 2 weeks away from my first Optima event of the year. As always, great timing for a major issue. So now I have to prep for Optima and diagnose an ECU issue.
Alright, so just got back from Vegas and ended the trip with a bit of an issue. But then sometimes I'd turn the car off, turn it back on, that would fix it. Sometimes unhook the battery, reconnect the battery, sometimes that would fix it. But then a few minutes later, it would act up again. And it would always act up whenever I'm going like up a hill like my driveway, or reversing at an angle would always trigger these codes. So honestly, not that big a deal. I don't really need that stuff. Rev match I kind of like to have, it's handy. But the big problem is I started to not be able to access my drive modes. It would say drive modes unavailable. And I'm like, and then I started to get the little wrench. So yeah, that's never good. The car was still running, but then Las Vegas Motor Speedway, outer road course, went into limp mode last session. So me and a buddy, his name is Adrian. We plugged in one of his fancy scanners and just spent hours diagnosing the car, trying to find out why she's sick. And the problem seems to be all roads are leading to a bad ECU. And we found out that the ABS and the PAM parking aid module, it seems like those two issues are sending invalid data to the computer. The computer's not liking it, and that's what's causing all the issues. Yeah, we haven't quite fixed it. We cleared everything. All the codes are cleared, all the modules reset. Yeah, I'm going to Laguna Seca, hoping she runs.
Now regarding my valve cover sitch, I'd like to clarify, this is not a jab at the guys over at MMR. Well, not entirely. They are super cool dudes, I've met them, and they make great products. This is a very unique build. However, with that said, they would not help me with my sitch. Basically told me they haven't gotten any other complaints about their valve covers from other customers. That doesn't help me though. I highly doubt those customers have a twin-turbo road race car. And we specifically informed MMR of what this car is used for when we placed the order. The amount of oil the catch can was collecting and then overfilling on the motor is dangerous and a potential fire hazard. Not to mention could leak oil all over the track, which is extremely dangerous to everyone. Now with the cost of the covers, cost to have them installed, then the cost to purchase OEM covers and swap them again, the total added up to roughly $3,000 I've invested in valve covers. When I spend money like that on this car, I fully expect the part to work as advertised, and if not, for the company to take some responsibility. But this doesn't seem to be the case anymore with most performance shops. I've dealt with this issue in the past a few times. Companies seem to sell a product, and that's it for them. It's out of their hands and not their responsibility anymore. So if the product fails or does not work as intended, well, it is solely the customer's problem. I even told them I don't want the full amount of the money I invested in these back. I will eat up all the labor costs and the cost of buying another factory set. I simply requested that they refund the money I spent on their valve covers only. In short, they told me there's nothing I can do and mentioned I can sell them on my own. I was really excited to have these covers on too, because I loved how they look.
Man, these things are so boring looking. Looks like a factory motor with some gold wrapping around the intake tube. I'm stuck again with this situation where I have to, that thing's just gonna vibrate and just pop out of this little notch here. And I want to apologize to Andrew. I thought there was tabs in this neck, whatever this is called, and this this fitting right here would twist and snap on. At least that's what Hellion said. There's no tabs, so this is just a poor design, to be honest. It seems that these MMR camber plates are not, how should I say this? Several racers have told me not to use these because they had clunk issues like I'm having. I have to tighten this nut after every single session. Yeah, that's annoying. I don't want to do that anymore. So anyway, enough of that. Here's the fun part. Got some goodies in. Custom wing, AJ Hartman. Had my buddy who airbrushed my rear deck lid panel for me. Airbrushed some pieces here that's gonna spruce up the engine bay. He also did this for me. Whoo! If you saw my first Coyote video, I talk a little bit about my S197, and I had a really nice piece airbrushed. I've wanted to do this for a while. The problem was this big gap here where the hood latch goes. I didn't know how it would look, and I basically just decided to have him do it like this. I think it came out good. I mean, yeah, there's a gap, but I think it came out good. It's gonna look good in the car. And lastly, some pieces I had redone for the trunk. I had that redone with some orange stitching, and finally I had this piece redone. Not only adding my number, but I made it lighter. One last thing, got me a couple Hoosier Time Attacks. So I'm anxious to try these. 325, it isn't gonna go in the rear because I'm still using the Nexans here for the front. And let me tell you, these tires are light. With my lighter wheels and lighter tires, I think it's gonna help out a lot. But I'm going to beautify this car. But hey, I'm gonna be running around Laguna Seca and the car's gonna go into limp mode anyway. At least the car will look good. I could laugh about it, but I don't want to laugh about it. This really makes me mad. I almost want to cry, to be honest. All right, so anyway, put all this stuff on, beautify the car, and load up. Alright, so things didn't really go as planned. The thing went into limp mode instantly at Laguna Seca. Honestly, I don't even want to talk about it. Okay, so what happened was, the first day is 8 autocross runs. 4 in the morning, 4 in the evening. Second autocross run in the morning, just right away, limp mode. I was livid. So for the first day, I got 2 clean autocross runs out of 8. Second day, I got 3 clean speed stop runs out of 10. And also the second day, I probably got 2 clean laps around Laguna Seca Raceway. I was just trying to limp through that weekend because it's all point-based, basically. And I was like, I'm gonna do everything I can. So I basically cycle the ignition, turn the car off in between runs, fire the car up, you know, limp mode gone, and just hope I can get 1 clean run in before I went into limp mode again. It was so frustrating that whole weekend. So here's the problem though. When you're just a dude like me and you're not a super well-known racer or, I don't know, a millionaire or an automotive YouTube channel that has, you know, 1 million subscribers, you know, no one's gonna stop what they're doing to help you out when you have a last minute problem. And it can be really frustrating because I pay a lot of money for these events, registration, hotel, all that stuff. But I mean, I get it. I can't be mad. People have schedules. At the end of the last day, the award ceremony starts. You know, I'm throwing stuff around in my trailer. I'm pissed off. I'm seriously thinking, you know what? I'm gonna park this car out and I'm gonna take a bat to everything that I can't sell. But you know, a little voice in my head said, you know, go to the award ceremony and cheer on your fellow racers. Because I'm always just getting tired of the same 2 guys that win in my class. The same 2 guys every time. And this weekend, it was a good turnout. There was about 14 in my class alone. So reluctantly, I walked up towards the award ceremony at the stage, sitting there pouting the whole time. And what they do is they call 3rd place, then 2nd place, then 1st place. And when they said 3rd place, car 316, and said my name, I was like, what? The fact that I got 3rd place, I beat 11 other cars in limp mode, is telling me the car is capable. The car is getting dialed. You just need to figure out this ECU modules issue. Because I was thinking, if that car was 100% that weekend, and if the car's 100%, I'm 100%. But that gave me a lot of motivation. About 10-15 seconds in this video, y'all will either see some dyno sessions, meaning that issue's been fixed, fuel kit's in, or I'm gonna cut to me in the garage with the car, parting the car out. Let's hope it's the former.
Hey, great news. What?
have to see what 820 horsepower to the wheel feels like. Do that again. I've never felt power like that before. Close. I've driven quite a few cars, but I don't think I've driven any over 800 horsepower to the wheel. And mind you, we detuned this car from 970 plus horsepower. There's no way I can handle that on autocross events. But wow, this car is going to hurt some feelings, I think. But anyway, thanks for watching and God bless.